What's up, everyone? Good morning. How are we doing? This is episode 23 of our breakfast training podcast. And I haven't really shared anything on here about the personal goals of this podcast. My goal is to make 100 in a row. I probably mentioned that before, but I guess it'd be cool on top of that if these kind of grow to 1,000 views at that point, maybe 800-ish, and my page grows to, I said 10,000 subscribers, but I'm not really sure if that's going to reach this point, but I guess we all have goals. But that was the point of it from a tangible growth side. By the end of the day, I just wanted to accomplish 100 episodes. So if you guys like these videos, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe and share. I'm not a YouTube expert. I just film these on my phone. I drink coffee and talk to you about training. So that's kind of how it all works. In the future, I hope also that I can get a coffee sponsor. Would be pretty cool, because I would love to talk about the coffee. Today I have a French press. I actually learned that bees are back again, that the French press is very easy to burn or over roast. It takes a lot shorter period of time. So again, interesting stuff about coffee that I kind of like. I'm kind of a coffee nerd, not a big coffee nerd, a small coffee snob. I like to add ginger to my coffee. Sometimes I'll ground it up and put it in the actual grains, the grounds of the coffee. All in all, I like that quite a bit. Some cinnamon. I have whole milk in this, but I'm also a big oat milk guy. So fun facts about coffee. Maybe I'll start sharing a little bit about them at the beginning of these episodes. But today I want to talk a little bit about the drawbacks of traditional training. So what I mean by traditional training, I'm talking about traditional weight room work, right? In the weight room, we do things, and it's going to be a little bit of a generalized segment. So we're going to say like weight room work is squatting, deadlifting, these grounded movements. That's the word I was struggling to find. Where the weight room is full of grounded movements, where our ankle is stable, our foot is stable, and we're lifting typically through knee and hip extension, right? Whether it's an RDL, a squat, or a deadlift. So we can imagine your feet are stationary on the ground, and we are squatting and deadlifting. In doing so, we neglect some areas. And these are the drawbacks I'm referring to. So if we're squatting and deadlifting and do a whole workout, you can look at a workout more times than not, and you can see one variable, if I had a workout in front of me, that's commonly missing. It is the amount of impacts applied on the feet and even the training of the calf and ankle. We do so much work that trains the quads, the glutes, knee and hip extension, whether it's even like a clean. Clean is a grounded movement. Yes, there's a catch, but the initiation of force starts from a grounded, non-reactive portion. We don't really have many impacts in our training. And that's unfortunate, because impact-initiated training, as I'm going to call it from now on, can be useful. Impact-initiated training is just the training of force transmission and production upon the initiation of some sort of an impact from the foot hitting the ground. Think of like a step up. If I do a step up, my foot's on the box, my foot's stationary there, and I step up, there's a difference than if I step and hit the box and kind of force myself up. What's happened? Well, now the ankle has to rapidly absorb force. And the reason why I bring this up, I think it's important, because I was reading about the idea, and this is a follow-up to our previous video on rate of force development. And so often people bash rate of force development in the world of performance. They say, well, it's not a good causal metric. You can look at the metric and yeah, you might see some elite athletes have great rate of force development, but movement's so much more than just rate of force development. And I totally agree with you. But also, rate of force development is never utilized to its fullest potential. When we talk about things like rate of force development and strength and power, you're so often talking about just the quads and the glutes, especially in regards to the exercises we're testing, like squats and even a squat jump or a counter movement jump, a hang clean, a deadlift. There's no impact initiating that movement. You're actually not testing the ankle's ability to withstand the rapid force production of the quads and glutes. Surprise, you wonder why it doesn't encompass the whole totality of movement. Well, you're missing one of the key aspects of movement, that is your foot. And it's not the fact the rate of force development is bad, it's the fact that the way we utilize it is kind of inappropriate. We're not ever testing the ankles and the flexors of the foot or extensors of the foot very well. I was actually reading a book, in this old Russian Yuri Verkhoshansky book, and they talk about the strength topography. And this is the idea of measuring the development of muscles that are key in the utilization of sport. That is your legs, your quads, and your calves. And they'd isolate and test them. Well, they tested their calf musculature, the extensors and the flexors. Surprise, it went off in my head. They also tested rate of force development in there. And so you could look at, is there potential discrepancies in development? Are your quads and glutes getting really strong and your ankles are not getting any stronger? Are you not actually getting them to be more powerful? Spend all this time on quad and, glute stuff, but you ignore the ankles. Well, how do you expect upon an impact where you're running, sprinting, doing these shorter ground contact, higher velocity movements, that rate of transmission is going to be there? So then you say, look, well, Max, the squats don't carry over, the deadlifts don't carry over, I have a lot of power in my legs, but I just can't jump. It must be something out there that's different. And that's true. They could be your skill to an extent. But on top of that, have you looked at your ankles? Your ankles are like your tires. You could have the greatest engine in a car. You could have the greatest transmission, or I'm not a car guy. You could have the greatest specs on the car, but if you don't have wheels that can handle your performance, it's not going to be able to work. You can't stick the wheels on my car in a Formula One car and hope good things turn out. You just can't drive like a Formula One car. So you need to have wheels, ankles that are able to actually be active and transmit and function at the same level of your quads and glutes. And so we wonder why sometimes the weight room fails us. Well, maybe we fail the weight room sometimes because we're not actually thinking in a holistic approach. Holistic means just looking at your whole body, not anything woo-woo and crazy. It's just being logical and pragmatic about our approach to actually looking at athletic development and performance. So I want to leave it there because I have my coffee and I want to drink it. It's a rabbit hole that you could go down and something I want you to think about today. So if you guys do agree or disagree, feel free to share in the comments. Again, as always, if you guys like these videos, feel free to comment below, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you guys can join me in these talks. And once it gets cold out, thankfully it's only August right now, I'll have to move these inside. But I hope to keep doing them outside as long as I can. Maybe I'll even just wear a hoodie and I'll brave the weather because I think it adds a cool little environment to it. But again, I appreciate y'all. Enjoy. Take care. Have a good Wednesday. And thanks for listening.